We're going to talk about Die-Off Buster, and Die-Off Buster to me is a huge game changer for people who are dealing with leaky gut or who are trying to kill an infection in their gut and they know they're having a ton of die-off. What is die-off? Basically, when you're killing bacteria in your gut, whether because you're making some changes in your diet and that's caused starving and killing the organisms, or you're actively trying to kill an infection, these organisms will split, whether they're bacterial or fungus or parasites. When they die, they split. When they split, they release a lot of what we call LPS. And LPS is the insides of these organisms, and they irritate the heck out of your gut and your liver. So when the LPS releases, that's a big problem. The other thing is, even when these bacteria, fungus are living in you, as they're under stress, they can release a lot of what we call toxins. So some of them are called endotoxins. So between LPS and endotoxin, which is actually a toxin, you're going to feel crappy. And what die-off is that it could be anything that has to do with your autoimmunity. It could be flaring. It could be, and a lot of people just think gut symptoms, and it isn't just gut symptoms, but if it is gut symptoms, you could get gas, bloating, diarrhea, sometimes even explosive. You get a lot of nausea, worsening heartburn. These are not uncommon symptoms that people classically think of die-off, but there's also non-classic symptoms that are going to be like headache, fatigue, also worsening pain, even, mood, really severe anxiety or depression. So there could be a lot of different kinds of shifts that people may not realize, oh my gosh, it's die-off. But if it coincides with when you're just starting to kill an organism, or you're really doing well with your blood sugar and you're really starving these organisms, they get mad, they get angry, and they start to die, they're going to release a lot of these toxins. Now, the data has really coming out on what are some things that people can do for die-off. And in the past, I've always said activated charcoal is definitely something you should have anyway to deal with die-off, because activated charcoal is just carbon. Carbon is a really porous molecule that have a lot of holes, and it is what I call a non-discriminant absorber of toxins and even medications and supplements. So it's just like, that's why we use carbon to do our air filters. We use carbon for our aquarium filters and our water filters because it absorbs almost everything. So it is non-discriminant. So typically in die-off, I could say always have some activated charcoal. We do carry it in the store. You can make 2 caps up to like 4 times a day, but you never want to take it with your medications or your supplements. And the reason is it will inactivate them. It'll absorb them and it will inactivate them. So, and it is also non-specific because it absorbs everything. So it's great to use activated charcoal as a first line. But if you want the nuclear option, the game changer option, it would be Die-Off Buster. And there's specific ingredients that literally just came into the market. That's very specific to Die-Off Buster. In Die-Off Buster, there is ImmunoLin and there is N-acetyl-D-glucosamine. So those are 2 ingredients that are really well studied, and the data coming out of them, especially 2 of them combined, is insane. What it does is that these 2 things together is the most specific thing that you can do to bind both LPS and endotoxin. Imagine that it goes in and it literally sucks up LPS, endotoxin, and nothing else. That's why it's so crucially helpful. These molecules are really new. Not lots of studies have come out, but this is patented technology. I also want to note that in Die-Off Buster, some of the things to look at is that it also has the ImmunoLin is for IgG antibodies. Sometimes in other products, some of the IgG antibodies is derived from colostrum or dairy products. This is serum-derived, which means that it does not contain any dairy. It actually comes from serum, which is part of the blood. So it has no dairy whatsoever, and it is gluten-free, dairy-free, just so you know. And what you want to do when you use Die-Off Buster is that if you're really flaring from die-off, you're going to want to do 1 scoop in the morning, 1 scoop at night, like twice a day. And it doesn't matter if it's food, med, other supplements, just get it in because it specifically is for LPS and endotoxin. So you could do it with some water. You could put in some smoothies. So if you're really in a severe situation, twice a day. When you start to see these symptoms really calm down, then just go once a day until you finish the bottle. Studies have actually shown that just in a matter of about 2 to 3 weeks, I mean, the amount of gut healing because of this product, the amount of reduction in symptoms, literally insane, and it's a game changer. So yeah, it's a very unique product. It's patented technology. It's really studied, backed up, that really shows that it does this, which is why I love Die-Off Buster. I think it's indispensable. If you know you're dealing with infection, you know you're struggling with die-off, I would say that this is the nuclear option, and it's the game changer that I would absolutely use.